Hey, we're rolling.
Hi Red Deer, I'm Chantal Bose for RedDeerCityTV.ca, Central Alberta's first and only high-definition web TV channel. So here with me now is John Morris, nicknamed Johnny Mo, the bad boy of curling.
You read my bio.
I did. So you've obviously won gold medal for Canada at the 2010 Winter Olympic Games in Vancouver. But in addition to that, 9 Grand Slam victories, 5 Brier appearances, as well as medals at the World Championships in curling. So your resume is pretty strong.
It's good there, yeah.
So you're originally from Ontario.
Yeah.
And what brought you out to Alberta?
Well, I grew up in Ottawa, and I still got a lot of family there. But right after I graduated university, there's curling out west is phenomenal. The depth out here is great. I knew that if I wanted to excel at curling, I had to join the the dark side and move west. And also I knew there's a lot of opportunity. Alberta, I think, continues to be one of the best provinces for employment. And as a firefighter, there's a lot of opportunity for me out here. So I decided to pick up roots and move west about 10 years ago, and I've loved it ever since.
Excellent. And how long have you been playing with Kevin Martin?
We joined forces about 7 years ago. We had a goal to get to the 2010 Olympics and represent Canada there, and it went really well. And now we're gearing up for the next Olympics in Russia. So it's been about next year it'll be 8, and that'll be likely our last year. Kevin will probably retire, but it's been a good role.
Excellent. Now you've been to a couple of Tim Hortons Briers, and you've had a couple of incidences along the way. I hear that before one you got hit by a car and knocked unconscious, and then the following year you broke your hand, and we're still able to participate in both events. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, that was just a strange few years. We had a couple of years there where it was the first year I broke my hand, and about a couple of weeks before the Brier. And luckily I had a really good physiotherapist in Winnipeg that was able to make this cast that I could still play. So that's the first time I played with an injury like that. And then lo and behold, the next year I was out running my sister's dog in St. Albert, and a guy ran a stop sign and hit me, and I was out cold and woke up and we were getting rushed to the hospital, and that was only 2 days before the Brier, so we were able to bounce back from that one. Luckily I had no broken bones, and I think we won that Brier too, so it was sort of bittersweet.
So after that, was your family like, maybe let's not do the Tim Hortons Brier anymore?
Well, Kev was a joke. He said, okay, next Brier you're in a bubble for the month leading up to the Brier. So, but you got to live life, and things happen, and you can't really control everything. So, to go with the flow. Right.
And so, what's next for you guys?
Next we have actually a big January coming up. This is the first weekend, and then we have Continental Cup in Penticton, and then we have the Skins game in Aurelia. It's a new format this year, which is going to be on TSM. We're really excited for that. And then the last one in a row, we have a Grand Slam in Port Hawkesbury, Nova Scotia. So we're going from coast to coast all of January, and we're back on the road. So we're looking forward to get back at it.
And then hopefully next year in Russia.
Yeah, next year in Russia, and the Brier is later on this year in Edmonton. So we've got a couple big events coming up. So we're really looking forward to bringing our A game and representing Alberta.
Well, good luck, and thanks for coming all the way to Red Deer.
Oh, our pleasure.
All right.
Great to be here.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chantal. All right. Good.
So I'm here now with Kevin Martin, a man who need no introduction. Alberta-born curler is a household name now and has made Canada proud for many years. Has been to 3 Olympics, winning 2 medals, most recently, of course, at the 2010 Winter Olympic Games in Vancouver. But aside from that, your resume also includes 14 Grand Slams, 3 medals at the World Championships, 7 finishes at Tim Hortons Briers. So tell me, how do you, small-town Alberta boy, get involved in something like curling over, say, hockey or basketball or anything else?
I definitely played a lot of hockey for sure, and when you're a small town Alberta boy, you play baseball, and then you definitely play hockey, you definitely curl, you definitely play golf, and then you have to play all the school sports because there aren't enough kids. So everybody plays everything, and I think that's a pretty healthy way of doing it, and that's probably why you see, be it in curling or in the NHL roster, a lot of country kids, because you're forced to play all the different sports, and if you happen to be pretty good at one, you got to try it. And I think, unfortunately, these days kids don't get to try all the sports because they're too busy.
Right.
You bet.
So were you a natural at curling? Were you a gifted curler?
I don't know. I started so young. Dad made the mistake of saying that I could start curling if I could get the rock over the second hog line. So I did that when I was 7. So then I started curling like when I was just about 8, and then just carried on. So I've done it forever. Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah?
Obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
So how did you get involved in a situation like this charity event?
Well, Ronald McDonald House, for me, gee whiz, we started with the Ronald McDonald House Golf Tour. Now that's aging myself, but somewhere in the early 90s, I think 91, 92, we did that for quite a few years and played a lot of events every year, and it was really fun. And then I got to know the Edmonton House, and then so it made sense to come down here. The last time we were here, though, the new Ronald McDonald House wasn't built yet. It was just in the planning stage, and they're starting construction. So now I actually got a tour through the building last night, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Excellent. And so, are you still, any chance we're going to see you at the games in Russia?
I hope so.
Yeah?
That's the goal. Definitely try to get to Sochi.
So this is, I imagine, going to be a busy afternoon for you, fellas.
Ooh, it's been real busy so far.
Yeah.
The idea is that for a pledge to the house, John or myself will throw a rock for the team, any position, whatever they want. And so near the end of the games, of course, rocks are becoming very important. So John and I are running like crazy back and forth across. We've got 12 sheets here now, so it keeps us really going, trying to keep throwing for everybody, and it's really fun.
Well, it's good to have you here. Awesome. So good luck to you in the future, and thanks again for coming to Small Town Red Deer.
Thanks.
The Ronald McDonald House in Central Alberta has been open in Red Deer for just under a year. The $12 million project became the first new facility of its kind in over 20 years. It allows families from out of town to stay just blocks away from the hospital while their children is receiving treatment. The idea was proposed several years ago when the hospital originally hoped for an on-site family suite. But after a feasibility study in 2008 revealed a much greater need, a larger, new, more comfortable housing structure was in place. Since its opening in February, the 11-room building situated at the top of the South Hill has already had many visitors. Larry Mathieson is the executive director of the Ronald McDonald House. Thank you for joining me, Larry.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure.
How many families have utilized this facility so far?
Well, we've actually had over 174 families stay in the house, and we've had over 500 families use it for day use as well, so quite a few families already.
And how many people does it take to keep it running and the maintenance of a situation like this?
Well, we have about 9 staff who work in the building itself, and then we have altogether probably about 70 volunteers who help us in the house and in events like this. And then we have some staff in Calgary that work for both houses, so it's a good number of people that actually keep that house running.
And how much does a project like this cost annually?
Annually, it costs a little over $1.1 million a year to run the house and provide accommodation for families. So an event like this is pretty important to us because it makes a significant inroad into some of that operating funds that we need.
Mm-hmm. So today, the Red Deer Curling Center the Ronald McDonald is hosting a charity Bonspiel to raise funds for this unit. Teams enter the event and can pay the pro to take their next shot. So for a $20 donation, to the Ronald McDonald House, Central Alberta, the Olympic gold medalists, John Morris or Kevin Martin, will play for the curler. Given the track record, I imagine these two men will be on the ice quite a bit.
They've been pretty busy.
Okay. So how many teams have entered this event?
We've had over 60 teams enter, and this is actually the first year we've had a junior division, so that was pretty fun too, to see some of the kids out playing as well.
And is this going to become an annual event?
Yeah, this will become probably our biggest fundraiser in a year, and we definitely need to raise funds throughout the year, but an event like this will raise a lot of money at one time type thing.
And how will the money raised today help the families who are suffering with a child who has an illness?
Well, we charge families $12 a night to stay in the house, and the real cost is for a family is over $100 a night to stay in the house. So funding like this actually bridges that part of that gap between what a family might pay and what it actually costs to provide the accommodation.
Mm-hmm. And so I understand you also have quite a few volunteers that come in and make a meal for the families. Tell me a little little bit about that.
We do. You know, Red Deer and Central Alberta are incredibly generous, and certainly both with donations and volunteering. And so, for example, last month we had 18 groups come in and make a dinner for families. So when you think if you've been at the hospital all day or your child's in an incubator and you get back to the house and the last thing you want to think about is cooking a meal. And so we have these groups coming in, the church groups, companies, you know, families even will come in and make a warm meal for our families.
So, okay. Is there anything else you need to add?
Well, you know, one of the things that the Home for Dinner program where families come in to cook meals, it's actually, I think, probably one of our most successful programs because it's so great for families, but most of the companies that come and do it have such a good experience and such a good team builder that most of them come back every month and do a dinner kind of thing. So it's an exciting program. It's really easy for us to offer that additional support for families, but it's also good for our community as well.
And if somebody wants to get involved in that, could they contact you, or?
They can just call, well, they can call me or email Linda at the house or just give the house a call and they'll know who to put you through to.
Excellent. Well, congratulations. Have fun today and hopefully things go very well.
So I've got a game in an hour.
Excellent. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's actually it's a brand new facility, so it's great. It's the first time I've ever played here. It's dynamite, so yeah, we're having a ton of fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.